Although the overflowing waves are scary, there are those who enjoy them. They are surfers who ride the waves. They wait for the big waves instead. And for them, waves are not something to be afraid of, but rather an opportunity to challenge. However, while there are those who fear the waves of life that come our way, there are those who use them as an opportunity to challenge. If we look at today's text, Acts 12, we see that God created a community that rides the waves of suffering, not a community that fears them. In order to be established as believers who ride the waves, we must first realize our weaknesses. As I said, the church was in great difficulty, and there was nothing they could do. However, there are times in our lives when we have to go to church and pray with tears because we can't do anything. Surprisingly, the gospel begins at that very point, because at that point we seek God and pray to Him. However, today's text tells us what level of prayer was answered, and that prayer was a prayer that even the people who prayed were not sure about. Because if you look at verse 15 of today's text, when the prayer was answered, those who were praying together responded by saying, "You are crazy." There are times when we pray without faith, and times when we pray without even thinking that it will happen. However, the important thing is that even when our prayers are lacking, God works for us and works through our prayers. Even in that desperate moment when Peter was imprisoned, God was working. And even when he prayed without faith, God was working. We call this the grace of God, because grace is given regardless of our faith. No matter how weak we are or how desperate our situation is, or even if our prayers are weak and lacking, God saves us from sin, saves us and guides us.